I've never found a love like this. There it is. I've never found a love like this.
Hello everyone, welcome back to E20 Zone TV. Player ratings time now. I'm riding solo tonight, so please do help me along the way with your ratings in the chat. And West Ham get another win, which is like gold dust to us at the minute. We've waited so long for the team to play so well, but when they do start playing well, we get 3 wins in a week, so we can't grumble at that. Obviously, Mitchell, Lucas and West Ham Online are out partying in the streets of Stratford, so be aware if you are out there, they're out enjoying themselves after today's win. But I'm going to get into this, and it is the player ratings. And I'm going to start off with this man, Lucas Fabianski. I'm not impressed today. Not impressed in the slightest with him. I really am not. For me, that goal, he should be tipping over the bar. It should be a routine save for him. How he's let that goal go through him to let Fulham get on their way was borderline shocking, in my opinion. Really, really was. Other than that, he was okay and everything else. But that goal is just a major error for me. And listen, I agree with what Glenn's saying here. Yeah, Glenn's saying a 5. Now, I'm not disagreeing with that. I think the only reason why it's as low, it isn't lower than a 5, in my opinion, is because we've won the game. If we draw the game, I'm giving that a 4 or a 3 even, because it's an absolute howler from Fabianski. So I'm going to give him a 5 with Glenn. I'm with him on that. I think he was all right and everything. I think he come out and caught a few balls. But that goal is just stupidity from him. It's just stupidity. And I just don't see why he's doing that, in my opinion. People could say about Zouma. They could say Zouma should be getting back and covering and all that. But it's straight at him. And it's gone straight through him, for instance. So for me, yeah, it's a 5 out of 10. Adam says Ario needs to be number 1. Yeah, we will wait for that day to happen. But we will move on from Fabianski. It's 5 from me, 5 from Glenn, and it's probably a 5 from a lot of other people and all. But moving on to this man, where is he? Is this man? Thilo Kehrer. I'm mixed on this man today. Really, really am mixed. Big time. First half, I would have given him a 3 out of 10. I thought, and that is being lucky at that. I thought he was shocking in the first half. First 20 minutes, he was all over the place. He really, really was. And their defender roasted him a few times. Second half, he got better, and we got better. And I think he didn't go as much forward in the second half. I think he sort of contained himself a bit more. So second half, I would probably give him an overall. I would probably give him a 6. And like Glenn just says the same thing as me, 6 out of 10. Yeah, like he slides in for tackles, and he's. I like Kehrer, don't get me wrong, but he's dangerous. He's dangerous in his play. Yeah, he slides in sometimes when he don't need to, and it's like he's got no fear, the man. Don't get me wrong, but defensively today, pace has absolutely ruined him, which is a worry for me. Really is a worry, because on that right hand side, we complain quite a lot about Cresswell on that right hand side doing that, and today he was getting roasted consistently by their player, Fulham's player today. So I'm going to give him. I'll give him just a 6. I'll give him just a 6 for me. Anthony says a 6. Jack says 5 at best. Gave too many needless fouls away today. I will say one thing about him today, though. He did commit a foul in the centre of the park today. Got a yellow card, and it was a good professional foul. Like, it wasted the time. It slowed the game down again. So I'll give him that. But the first half, he was all over the place, and I don't understand why he was all over the place, in my opinion. Do you know what I mean? Steve is in the house. Steve says a 6. Kehrer has a major mistake in him every game. A 6. Yeah, I don't know. It just wasn't his day today. that winger just absolutely ruined him big time today. Do you know what I'm saying? But yeah, I think we've all sort of grasped that it's a 6 out of 10 now. We will move on to this man who I thought was excellent, Mr. Craig Dawson. Before I do move on, please do smash a like on the video. It goes a long way. And please do subscribe to the channel. And please put your ratings in the chat so I can read them out on the stream. My rating for Craig Dawson is going to be pretty easy. I don't need no help or assistance in this one. He's getting a 9 out of 10 for me. Absolute 9 out of 10. And for me, he wins the penalty, but he plays the game. He plays the game. He knows that the man's fouling him. He makes it known that the man is fouling him. And he sort of plays the game of sort of enticing the young lad in more, and then eventually, bang, gets the penalty. When he ain't winning penalties, his defensive aspect of the game is superb. We've got a top player who's playing really, really well, but we've got a problem. He doesn't want to live in London anymore. So for me, I've got to give him man of the match today. I know people are going to say Scamacca, Paqueta, Bowen, etc. I get that. But as a defensive outlet, and this man's played twice in 3 days, I thought he was excellent from start to finish today. Absolute excellent. And that has got to be respected. I'm giving him a 9 out of 10. Superb for me. Absolute superb. Then we get to your ratings for him. Rob says an 8 for Dawson. Fair enough, mate. Glenn's a bit lower. Solid 7. Solid 8. 8 out of 10. Steve says Dawson gets an 8. 8. We can't let Dawson go. I agree. We definitely can't. Kehrer 6. Keeps making silly fouls away and dangerous errors. That's for Thilo Kehrer. Hammerhead says an 8 out of 10 for Dawson. As I sort of round it up with Dawson, yeah, I just thought it was excellent. I thought defensively, awareness, first half, maybe first 20 minutes, they was a bit all over the place. But after that, I thought he was superb. I really did. And I think he's up there for man of the match, if not man of the match for West Ham. Don't get me wrong, Paqueta gets 2 assists today. And he sort of run the show for us a little bit. But I do think Dawson is just, for a man who's played like twice in 3 days, and the way he played also. And the thing is, when people say about, players can't do it, why are these players tired and all that, our back 4 today was Kehrer, Zouma, Cresswell and Dawson. And the best player out of all 4 of them was Dawson, who played Thursday night. It's just madness. So, yeah, Super Craig Dawson gets a 9 out of 10 from me. Moving over to the other side, and it is this man, Kurt Zouma. Not impressed today. Like, out of position so many times today. Like, when I look at Craig Dawson and I look at him, and if someone was to say which one is an international and which one isn't, you'd think Craig Dawson is an international. Zouma was just not on it today for me. Not on it at all. Got roasted a few times, out of position multiple times. I'm seeing the lads putting their ratings in the chat. Zouma a bit better getting there, but Dawson showed up. He gets a 7. He's saying about Dawson. Mr. Singh says a 7. Zouma low 8 or a high 8. And you got high 8s, low 8s. What we got? We need a Guerd back. Yeah, I agree. I am going to give Zouma a high 6 for me. I just wasn't convinced. Was not convinced at all in the slightest with him. I really wasn't. I think when you look at Dawson's defending, he's no nonsense. You get stuck in. With Zouma's defending, it's very, I don't know, it's just clumsy. He looks clumsy from time to time, and it is a worry. Steve says here, Zouma went back to his wandering ways. 6. Yeah, I got to agree with you, mate, there on that. I really have. Do you know what I'm saying? He's just a bit inconsistent for me. But yeah, I'm going to give him a 6 out of high 6, just not a 7 for me. I think he was one of the iffier players on the pitch, to say the least. Moving on to this man, which is Aaron Cresswell. I don't think he was too bad today. That did do a great block. And I'm not too sure what the score was. It was either 1-0 or 2-1. He does a great block, and from a Fulham shot, looks like it's going in the corner. I don't think Fab's getting there, and Cresswell blocks it and clears it basically. First half, yeah, he was okay. It's just standard performance for me with Aaron Cresswell. Like, do you know what I'm saying? He did work well down that side, down that left hand side. Like him and Fornals together are sort of okay in their moments. Do you know what I'm saying? But I think a lot of the work went down the right and through the middle today. So I'm gonna give Cresswell just a 7. Like, I don't think he was as bad as Zouma. I really don't. But I will be honest. I did think that save, that sort of block on the line, just like to stop from scoring, was a great block. He read the play so well. Do you know what I'm saying? Jack says here, crucial. I think he says block at 2-1 that brings it up to a 7. Totally agree with you, Jack, on that. Really, really do. And that's, I always remember that block that he done, which sort of stopped the goal, really. Steve Bell says Cressy wasn't too bad, a 7. And he's the same, a 7. Les also says the same, 7, grew into it. I totally agree with you, lads, all day long. And Cresswell, I thought did well today, a 7. Glenn's a 7. I think we've all sort of come to the conclusion that it's 7s for Aaron Cresswell. What we got? Let's have a look. Cresswell for me, another 7. Yeah, I think we've all got the gist of it is a 7 out of 10 for Aaron Cresswell, and fair play to him. Moving on to this man, Thomas Soucek. Now, for me, he was very, very quiet today for me. I look at other players who stood out today, and I look at him, and sometimes you wouldn't even know he's on the pitch. You wouldn't even know that Thomas Soucek's on the pitch. Now, for me, that's a bit of a concern, but it also means that he does all sort of the not. How can I put this? It's not the sort of most glamorous of work, but he does all the dogged work, the hard working, sort of getting stuck in and slowing the game down and helping us retrieve the ball. I don't want to go hard on him, Soucek, today, because I just don't think he was. I don't think he was bad, but I don't think he was great. So it's like a standard performance for me for Thomas Soucek. Let me see your ratings. Glenn says a 5, which is, in my opinion, is a standard rating. Anthony says a 6. Martin says a 4. Steve Bell says Soucek Anonymous a 5. I'm sort of with you on this. Thomas Soucek was a passenger today and could fail to be sold in January. 5. 5. Time for Downs to get a run in the team. Soucek is a 6. It's good enough. Soucek a 5. I think Downs would have been better. I totally agree with you, lads. I really do. What am I going to rate him? It's an hard one for me because we won the game and he played. It was okay. It was a standard performance, wasn't it? I'm going to give him a 6. 6 out of 10 for me. I think it's just a standard performance from Thomas Soucek. I think Les says it quite brilliantly there. Soucek, quiet, dirty work. Yeah, he does all the dirty work, and you know what I mean. So yeah, 6 out of 10 for me, and a lot of the other lads have gone a bit lower on Thomas Soucek. Moving on though to this man, Mr. Declan Rice. Better, a lot better today. He's starting to come back to the Declan that we all know and love. Over this sort of last few games, he's slowly getting back to the Declan Rice that we all know. But before that, he was nowhere to be seen. Like, I was giving Declan ratings of 5s and 6s, which I've never given Declan a 5 or 6 before this season. But I must admit, today he got stuck in. Him, Paqueta, that sort of blend is excellent. He's changed the way he plays a little bit, Declan, and he's done a great bit of work in the second half. He breaks away with the ball, comes down the left-hand side. He overhits the ball, and the Fulham player's got it, breaks away, and he runs round the player, one of the players, chases the Fulham player who's got the ball running away, and wins the ball back. I thought he was absolutely excellent in that moment. What am I going to give him? I see what you are saying in the chat. Hammer says 7, 7, 7. Steve Bell says a 7. Anthony says a 7. Rice 7 gave the ball away. Am I giving Declan Rice today? I'm going to give him sort of a strong 7. I'm not going to give him just a standard 7 because I think he was better than that. I think second half he was a lot better than that. First half he was just all over the place. But I will give him a strong 7, just not an 8 for me. And he says a high 7, but does not give the poor away occasion. Adam's the same, 7.2. I think that's another sort of standard rating for everyone tonight, where we've sort of gone with, do you know what I mean, the standard of Declan Rice. I think he's slowly getting there. He's slowly getting there. Rice is a solid 8. You can see him getting more confident with Paqueta. Excited to see Dan as part of it too. Totally agree, Les. Totally agree. So yeah, 7s out of 10, and Les has gone a bit higher and gone with an 8. So we're going to move on to, where is he? This man, Lucas Paqueta, the Brazilian master. He frustrates me a little bit, but he's class. He's class. I will say that. First half, he done one good pass into Scamacca. Other than that, in the first half, I don't remember him doing anything. Really, miscontrolling the ball and very hit and miss. Second half, he turned into a £51 million player for me. He was excellent. I will say one thing: his touch and his composure is first class for Paqueta. That will never be questioned ever. It's just that I think it's just taking a little bit of time for him to get sort of climatised to the Premier League. Second half, he was flawless. He was very, very good second half, and he obviously assisted the goal for Scamacca. And do you know what? He's starting to sort of come into it now. Do you know what I mean? I will say one thing about this man: he does not get no fouls given to him by referees in the Premier League. He gets manhandled in certain situations, and they're blatant fouls. We can all see them, whether you're in the ground or not in the ground. You can see it's a blatant foul, and he's just not getting the decisions at the minute. But I think we've signed a talented footballer, and him and Scamacca together are a deadly duo, in my opinion. So let's have a look at your ratings and see what you are saying tonight. And he says a high 7. 7. Pac-Man gets an 8. 7, slacking at times. Ooh, a bit harsh on that one, but I understand what you're saying. Paqueta, 7, still finding his feet with us. Totally agree. 7, have not seen the best of him yet. I agree on that. Paqueta, 8, his influence is growing. 8, and Uzi's class when it matters. I think he will go on to give us so much more. Great assist, takes too much time on the ball, which I agree with. I think the reason he was much better Thursday is because these games are a bit slower compared to the Premier League. I totally agree on that. So 7.5. He lost the ball and then went back to line again. Went back to long ball again. Right, I'm going to give him a. He did assist a goal today and all, and an important goal. So I'm going to give him a high 7, just not an 8 for me. One thing I am going to say about Lucas Paqueta, and I stress this enough. When West Ham play again, watch Lucas Paqueta when he receives the ball in midfield. He never plays the ball backwards. He always turns and faces the goal that he's aiming for. And listen, he's a forward-thinking player, and that's what we need. Yeah, high 7 for me, just not an 8. I think the first half was wasn't good enough, in my opinion. Second half, he grew into the game and was flawless. He really, really was. So, yeah, this says here, Paqueta 8 grew into the game as well. He gave the boys courage to try some movement. Yeah, totally agree with you, mate. Really do. Right, let's get over to this man who's banging form at the minute. That is Jared Bowen. I said it last week, playing against Wolves, he loves to score a goal against Wolverhampton Wanderers. He goes and scores last week, and it sort of builds the confidence for him. On Thursday night, he was good. He was good, but in the Premier He's just a different level for me. Today, I thought he was excellent. Yet again, that sort of triangle of Declan Rice, Bowen, Paqueta, and Scamacca is working wonders at West Ham at the minute. And great penalty. West Ham don't score penalties, right? West Ham struggle to score penalties in recent times. We've had Declan Rice, Antonio, even Lanzini to a point, as solid penalties up before. But Jared Bowen today stepped up, put the ball down, and he had Harrison Reed in his ear roll for the majority of that time it was taking to take that penalty, and he slots it away lovely. He was a menace. He's a menace, and for that, he's getting an 8 out of 10 from me today. Right, he really is. Just a little bit better than Paqueta for me, because I think in the overall game, I think first half he was trying. Second half, he sort of come into his own. I think Paqueta in the first half was a bit inconsistent, but Bowen gets an 8 for me today. I thought he done well. Fair enough, Robinson did dispossess him multiple times, but he was dragging these players wide and giving space for Scamacca to do his thing, and I thought we'll get on to Scamacca in a minute. I thought it was excellent. So let me get to your ratings for Jared Bowen. Hi, James. I enjoy your shows. Up the Hammers. Good win against Fulham today. Lee, hope you are well, mate. And I thank you for giving us that compliment, son. I really do appreciate it. Martini says an 8. Adam says an 8. Glenn's gone a bit lower. Bowen 7, still not quite there. Well, I don't know, mate. I think he's getting there. 7 for Bowen. Robinson outpaced him. I can understand that. Robinson did play well. And he's gone for a high 7. Totally agree on that one. 8, great pen. Our penalty taker is going forward. Totally agree. Bowen 8, totally a nuisance, and will even get better as Paqueta and Scamacca grow. Totally agree with Les on that comment also. I think he's starting to embrace that when Scamacca gets the ball, Scamacca don't really lose the ball. And I'll be honest, yeah, I think he's growing in confidence. Slowly getting back to his whole self. Let's have a look. James, will you come to a game with me, buddy? Not until them owners are gone, son. I mean, GSP. Solo tonight, Jim. Yes, I am, mate. I am riding solo. Why? All the lads are out enjoying themselves in Stratford. So if you're out in Stratford, you might come across Lucas, Mitchell, and West Ham online. To round it up with Bowen, yeah, I'm going to give him just an 8 for me. I think he done enough to get an 8 for me. On that, let's move on to this man who slowly is becoming a cult hero at West Ham already. And I'm so proud to see a striker who knows where the back of the net is. Listen, nothing against Mikel Antonio at all. Mikel Antonio's been through a lot of shit with West Ham. I will say that. But Gianluca Scamacca, for me, is a levels above that Mickey will ever be. Excellent. Absolute excellent today, Gianluca Scamacca. Right, really was. Like he's getting a very, very high 8 for me, just not a 9. I think Dawson was superb today. I really did. But Gianluca is an absolute phenomenal striker. Like the amount of chances he had today, he could have scored hat-trick. He could have easily scored hat-trick today. First half, he had the header that Leno does a great save. Then another ball comes in. He has a shot. It gets deflected, and Bowen could have put it in. This is only the beginning of Gianluca Scamacca's West Ham career. Once he actually starts becoming more confident and West Ham get more good players in this team around him, because we are going to strengthen as time goes on, I think we've got a top class striker. And there's a reason why PSG was after this man, because obviously they can see it. For me, he was trained by one of the best strikers to ever play in the Premier League, and that is in Ruud van Nistelrooy. And anyone of my age or a bit older than me will remember Ruud van Nistelrooy from Manchester United days, where that man was a absolute clinical goal scorer. Not amazing pace, even though he was fast, but he knew where the back of the net is. And I think we've got another sort of replica of this man. This man's top drawer. He gets a very, very high 8 for me, just not a 9. And he got subbed. And yeah, I'm so pleased that we got him. And Scamacca, an 8. Totally agree. Scamacca 8. Passing ready, gives the ball away. Great finisher. Totally agree with Trojan that. Scamacca 8. My wife wants his babies, and I'm okay with that. Fair enough, Glenn. As long as you're okay with it, mate. You know what I mean? Scamacca has got to be an 8.8. 8.8 for Martini. 11 for Scamacca. Yeah, I must admit, mate. He's top class. Scamacca 8, amazing player. Yeah, listen, I've got to be honest. when he controls the ball and he moves the ball forward, and his awareness is top drawer. Do you know what I mean? He's just a top class striker. And there's two people I thank for that. I thank Moyes for allowing the transfer to happen, because he must have sanctioned the deal. And I'll tell you what, Rob Newman can't get enough credit. And people have to go and understand that Rob Newman is a top scout who scouted this man for a long time. And I'm so glad he did. And, Andy says 9, a proper centre forward, 23 and a baller, touch and instinct. Yeah. That goal is a top class goal. Proper striker, 8. Let's get down to here. 8.5 for Les. Snazzy says an 8. Yeah, I'm with you all, mate. I'm literally over the moon that he's us. He's with us. Van Nistelrooy can strike the ball hard. Yeah, and that's what I think he is. Listen, when I did the research on Gianluca Scamacca, when West Ham signed him, I couldn't believe what I was reading, some of the stuff. Like, he started his career at PSG and at PSV, sorry. And Ruben Nistelrooy has nurtured this geezer in, and yeah, he's just top drawer. So Gianluca Scamacca gets a very, very high 8 for me, just not a 9. I thought it was absolutely first class. Let's move on to the subs now. Right, let's remember the subs if I can. And we subbed in who exactly? We subbed in Mikel Antonio is the first sub. Listen, Mickey was on the pitch for what, 12 minutes? 12 minutes, 14 minutes, something like that. And he comes on and he does his role as a super sub. Comes on, scores the goal that sort of ends Fulham's hopes of getting a point out of the game. I've got to be honest, when he has that chance, I'm thinking there's levels. Like Scamacca, I think that's in the back of the net. It took Mickey 3 goes to get the ball in the back of the net, but he did get the ball in the back of the net. And I forgot about him. I will get to Pablo. Don't worry. I will do Pablo after this. I can't believe I've made that mistake. I forgot all about Pablo Fornals. But I'll do Antonio first. As a super sub, I'm going to give him an 8. 8 out of 10. And, listen, I thought he comes on, does his job, scores the goal. It's an 8 out of 10 for me for Mikel Antonio as the super sub that he is. Antonio gets an 8. He scored a trademark Antonio goal. Yeah. I'll quickly get all through these and I will go back to Pablo Fornals. I will. Antonio gets a 7. It's a 7 for Steve. 7. Vinay says an 8. So we're looking at 7s and 8s. I think for the time he come on and for what he done in that time, I will give him an 8. I think he deserves an 8. One thing I will say, he needed a goal today, Mikel Antonio. That's one thing I will say. It's funny watching him come on when they're all knackered. Yeah. Perfect closing role. Totally agree. He waited till I was here to do the Fornals. Yeah. Right. I will go back to Pablo Fornals. I do apologise to everyone who's been waiting for his rating. Completely forgot about Pablo Fornals, and there's no disrespect to him at all. Moving on though to this man, Pablo Fornals. I do apologise. I thought Pablo. A lot of people rave about Pablo, but I think he was just steady today, in my opinion. He did do one interception in the first half where Fulham were breaking forward, and he managed to get there in time. I can't remember who it was. I think it was like Dan James, I think it was, or someone. And if he ain't there, they've got a shot on goal. But I would say Fornals was, he was steady. Passing was a bit hit and miss. I will say that. But yeah, he was just steady for me. Like, it's hard for me to say about Fornals because when I look at Fornals, I just don't see what other people see. Do you know what I mean? I look at him and I think, you know what? Yeah, you can pass the ball well and you work hard, but as a left-sided attacker, he don't really attack. Do you know what I'm saying? When I look at Bowen, I look at him. I know they're two different players. They play in pretty much the same position, one on the left, one on the right. So this is going to be an interesting rating to see what everyone else thinks. I will do my rating at the end. Evening, Eric. I hope you're all well, mate. And we're going to start off at the top, as I always do. Fornals, high 6, sorry. Fornals 9. His passing was out of this world. Well, I don't know about that. Fornals a 4. Not impressed. Headless chicken sometimes. Yeah. Fornals 6. Pretty anonymous overall, but worked hard. Yeah, that working hard phrase keeps coming up. I must admit. 7. Fornals played a bet in the second half. I'll agree with Trojan on that. I will agree on that. First half, first 20 minutes, Fornals and Bowen weren't even in the game at all. Not at all. So, yeah. 6, solid, but not much of a threat going forward. For me, high 6. I agree with Andy on that comment, 100%. When I look at him, I think he's an industrial midfielder in a 3-man attack, like 3-man central midfield. But as a left-sided wing on a 4-2-3-1, I think sometimes he's just ineffective, in my opinion. I think Fornals is losing his role in the team. 5. That was me being, yeah. Fornals works off the ball. 6 for Fornals when you've got people looking for through balls and you take your time and decide to win something. It's frustrating. I feel he plays in sometimes. Yep, I agree. Snazzy says a 6. I'll go for. Here's a question. Was he better than Soucek for me? Now, for me, he was better than Soucek, and I didn't really see Soucek, if I'm being honest. I'm going to give him a 7 for Fornals. We won the game. He defended his side pretty well. He offers more defensively than he does going forward. I will say that. But yeah, I can't give him a 6 because I just don't look at him and see the same as Soucek, in my opinion. So, like, Soucek today was not bad, but he wasn't amazing. He was just quiet, and I think Fornals done more in the game than some of Soucek. So yeah, I'll give him a 7 out of 10 for me. Right, that is the starting 11 plus Mikel Antonio has been done. There's no point rating Flynn Downs as he comes on for like a minute. I will rate Emerson, who did come on. Where is he? Emerson. What do we think of Emerson today? I think Emerson was. I'm going to give him a standard rating for me. I'll give him a 6. He comes on. It's more defensively than it is anything else. Yeah, decent. Right, you know what I'm saying? He does what he had to do. I like Emerson, I really do, and I would like to see him at left back, but I know that position is not there at the minute. And basically, yeah, I'll give him a standard 6 out of 10 for me. Do you know what I'm saying? I think Emerson's a good player. And I think he's one for the future for West Ham when Cresswell has to come down. Do you know what I'm saying? So we've got Les says a 6. I think we're all sort of agreed with a 6 out of 10 for him. Right. That's all the subs. Now, definitely, that is all the subs because I don't remember anyone else coming on. We will go to this man, which is the ref. Now, this is going to be interesting because today I'm going to start off with the negatives first. Right, that's what I'm going to start off with. Consistent fouling of Lucas Paqueta today was ridiculous. Was really, really bad. Like, the man got fouled quite a lot in the game. And I mean, it's not major fouls where they're sliding in and taking him out. They're like niggly fouls, like pulling him and like literally being like taking him out of his stride and everything. Like in one of the incidents today, Paqueta gets away from 2 Fulham players and he's pulled back again, and he literally throws his hands up in the air to say, like, ref, why are you not yellow carding these people today? Do you know what I'm saying? So I will say that he got consistently fouled and he wasn't really picked up as much as it should have been. Right, that's the negative. The positive sides of it today. First of all, the penalty. It's a brave call. It's the right call, and fair play to the ref for basically saying you continue to do that, you're going to give away a penalty, and he did. Pereira was consistently fouling Dawson in front of the ref. Dawson uses his loaf though, I will say that, and goes like, look what's happening, and he makes sure the ref knows what's happening. But it's a great call from the ref. Kavanagh is a bit of an iffy ref, in my opinion. He does some good decisions, he does some iffy decisions. But I will say this: he got that penalty spot on, in my opinion. Is it soft? No, it's clumsy from their side. The VAR call, they got that right. It took their time. They was looking for absolutely any way not to give that goal today. I will say that. So the VAR was a bit iffy on that front. Apart from that, I thought we'd done everything A-OK, really. He booked people at the right time. He booked Kehrer, which was the right thing to do for a professional foul. I'm going to give the ref a very, very high 7 out of 10. I think it would be higher if the fouling on Paqueta would have stopped and they wouldn't have sort of consistently done that. But yeah, the ref today gets a high 7 for me. I thought he was pretty on the case today. Let's have a look. Snazzy says a 7, which I've said. Tro says an 8. Adam says a 7. 7 for the ref to stand the courage and conviction and award that penalty. Totally agree with Les on that comment. 100%, mate. Bang on the money there. The Prem give director for not giving as many soft fouls. Yeah. Steve Bell says, ref 7, at least he had the balls to give the penalty. Will probably be demoted for that. Totally agree, mate. I totally agree with you. Tro says VAR out. Fair enough. 7. We've had much worse refs of late. I totally agree. Ref gets an 8. And Vinay says 8 for the ref for the penalty. I think he got the penalty absolutely spot on today. Absolutely spot on. And if that would have been us in that situation, would we have been really going at the ref? I've been looking at the player being stupid more than anything. And I did see a few Fulham fans on my Twitter saying, how is that a penalty? It's a penalty because your player just fell for the old track, really. I think you had a young Pereira, naive Pereira, and you had an experienced Craig Dawson, an experienced one on the day in that situation. So, yeah, ref gets an 8 out of 10. High 7, sorry, for me. Moving on to this man. Final rating of the evening. This is going to be an interesting one. Mr. David Moyes. I will start off and I will let all using the chat put your comments in the comment section below. A week ago, I turned around and said that West Ham have to win the next 3 games in order to know where we're at with David Moyes. I feel that West Ham have turned a corner, but I think Moyes might have just turned a corner himself. I will say this. The stubbornness on Moyes was unbelievably bad. So bad and so unbelievably stubborn not to pick players because of that favouritism, basically. And against Wolves, he changed his tune against Wolves. He changed it around and he picked all the players that he felt would give him the best chance of winning. And since he has done that, West Ham have won 3 games in a row. We played Anderlecht and then we played today against Fulham. Wasn't a great start from us, which is a bit of an issue. And Moyes has to get that into him that he's not impressed. And he did. I listened to his interview after. He's not impressed with that slow start. We shouldn't be starting slow, right? And we consistently start slow. But to come back and win the game the way we did, I did like the way he changed it. He left the changes as late as he could because he knew that West Ham were building up momentum. And yeah, I'm going to give Moyes sort of some credit. Do you know what I'm saying? Because he has turned a corner, David Moyes. I will get to your comments and I will give my rating at the end. But for me, I'm glad he's pulled down this shutter of this stubbornness that he sort of got, because the stubbornness was holding West Ham back and it was just affecting us as fans, the team, because we had looked at people like Gianluca Scamacca and we went, he's a top quality player, why are you not playing him? Other players in the team who maybe shouldn't be starting, and if he's changed the back line around, obviously he's put Kehrer at right back, there's no more Kefal. I think if Soucek was taken out and say Flynn Downs was put in today, I think no one would have moaned. And I think Soucek's the last one of the sort of favouritism mark. Do you know what I'm saying? So I will get to your comments and see what you've got to say about that. Let's have a look. We will go with Richard, who says a 7 out of 10 for David Moyes. Eric says a 7. Moyes, 6. We need down starting. I think that's the only thing that's stopping it a little bit. I think the fan base will be over the moon with Moyes, as if he was to take Soucek out, put Flynn Downs in. let's not forget the first half was pants. I do agree with you on that. I totally agree. The first 20 minutes was pants up until the goal. After that, I think we sort of controlled it a little bit more. 7, just don't call him Moyes. Yeah. Moyes needs to get us playing well from the start. I totally agree. Steve Bell says Moyes 70. If he had played Downs, would have been an 8. 7, a 6 for me. I'm not sure he's going to take us to the next level. I agree. His stubbornness is slightly loosening. Totally agree with Andy on that comment. On that. Vinay, Moyes 6 shouldn't have started. Areola still stubborn. A-hole, but not as bad as before. Downs shouldn't have been given a chance. This could have allowed starting Benny instead of the workhorse Fornals, maybe. I think Benny didn't do himself no favours on Thursday. And I like Ben Rama. I've backed Ben Rama up. But even I can openly say today that he didn't deserve to start today. Not at all. Dawson comes back and we start winning. Yeah. 8 for Moyes. He's starting to trust his new guys. Concerned about the limping centre-backs. The ball probably told Moyes, remain stubborn and we will sack you. Moyes has his Dirty Harry moment. Yeah. I would have liked to have seen Downs. Yeah, I agree, mate. If you had to drop someone from Aguerd, who would you drop, Zouma or Dawson? I'd drop Zouma at the minute. I just don't think he's on it. 7. At the moment, Zouma would have been dropped for me. I agree. Moyes would have been an 8 if he had started Downs. I'm going to give Moyes an 8. I'll tell you the reason why I'm going to give Moyes an 8 is because he's won 3 games in a week. Now, West Ham were playing so bad before the Wolves game, and over this week it hasn't been pretty, but we've been getting the job done, and that is what it's all about. The slow start for me is a concern for me. It really, really is. We're starting slow, and we're allowing teams confidence. And it happened last week against Wolves. They didn't capitalise. Today, Fulham did capitalise. And West Ham went up another gear. As soon as we scored, we went 1-0. I didn't fancy us losing that game. I wouldn't say West Ham was going to win that game, but I didn't fancy us losing it. But we've got to improve from a starting position. It seems like we're giving these teams like a 10 metre start all the time, and it's like we're sort of revving up to get going, and when we do get going, we look good. I'm glad of the system that he's played, a 4-2-3-1. I think that's always been West Ham's system, not this 3-4-3, 5-3-2 was crap. I will say that. You've got to give him some respect. Listen, I agree with people who don't want Moyes here. I get it. I get what you're saying. I feel what you're saying because of his stubbornness. But his stubbornness has loosened up recently. It has. He has allowed Scamacca to play. He has dropped Cresswell and put Kehrer there. Fair enough, Craig Dawson's come back, which has helped the situation. And you've got to give him some credit. I know like, you might not want to give him some credit, but we have won 3 games in a week. And we do look better than we did 2 weeks ago. When I was sitting here 2 weeks ago and I said about West Ham, I was fearing the worst. I'm not really fearing it now. And that's not me being fickle. That's just me seeing it as from a game-to-game ratio. So I will give him an 8 out of 10. I do like the subs that he's doing. Like Mikel Antonio on for the last 10 minutes is always a plus, in my opinion. Steve says, fair point, James. 3 wins in a week is none too shabby. And that's all I'm going to say on that is basically we can't complain. As fans, we can't complain. If someone would have said to me last Saturday before the Wolves game that you're going to win 3 in a row next week, I would have took that all day long. I would have took 1-0, 1-0, 1-0 all day. It's nice to see us scoring some goals and looking like a threat. But we will have bigger tests to come. Obviously, Southampton is next, and that's another game where in the Premier League, which is going to be tough. So that has been the player ratings tonight. I really do appreciate everyone who has participated in that in the chat. You've helped me out massively. The lads are out enjoying themselves, and rightfully so. West Ham have got a win today. My final thought on the player ratings tonight is Craig Dawson is my man of the match. I will say that. I thought he was excellent today. I think ever since Craig Dawson's come back, and this man played obviously twice in like 3 days, and he was okay in Anderlecht, but not today. I thought he was excellent. I really did. And West Ham look back to how we how we used to be. Like last year, we looked this good, and we're slowly getting there. Certain players just need to just get up to speed a bit faster, and once they do, I think we'll be fine. If we get 3 points from Southampton, we will go 11th, 10th. I think the Southampton game, and I will come on to the Southampton game before I wrap this up, because I'm not looking at the Anderlecht games. I know it's going to be a mixed bag of talent. But the Southampton game will really assess where West Ham are. Yeah, if we go to Southampton and win, then I can say that the road of this stubbornness of Moyes has massively changed. We've had 2 back-to-back home games, and we've won both of them. So we can't complain about that. But we go on the road down to the South Coast next Sunday at 2:00. And I hope I'm sitting here next Sunday saying to you that it's another positive result. It's a positive win. We're in a good moment at the minute, West Ham, and we should be going to Southampton and literally turn them over. It's not going to be easy, don't get me wrong, but we should be going there and have no fear not to lose that game at all. So we will really know where we're at next week. And then obviously you've got Liverpool and then you've got Bournemouth. So we will see what happens there. Anyway, that's enough from me. Enjoy your Sunday evening. Enjoy the start of your week. And I'll be back during the week to do an Anderlecht preview. And yet again, as I always do on this channel, player ratings in the evening after the Anderlecht game. Please smash a like on the video. Please do subscribe to the channel. It goes a long way. It really helps me out. The boys are out partying. What it feels like to be young again, I must admit. And Lucas is over from the US of A, so he's out enjoying himself with them also. But from me to you, have a good one. West Ham, 3 wins in a row. What more do we want? Take care. Peace.
There it is. I've never found a love like this.